Hey ya guys, gals, and non-identifiable pals. How y'all doing? I hope you're doing well. This New Year's. God, I so suck. I am so sorry it took this long to make the video, but one thing after another just kept popping up. First off, I couldn't record for a few days, and then after I started being able to record, I got sick as frick from my family. And then as soon as that was done, then there was a fucking all good Christmas stuff. And like obviously when there's Christmas celebrations going on, I couldn't make stuff and I was still sick. Um just to give context a little bit here, the last like actual audio which I was able to fully make was the Christmas one, and I made that one earlier than Christmas. Uh and like it took me a few days before I got sick. I was editing that one while I was sick. It took me a while due to the sickness that I more had, and still kind of have a little. Kind of like super demotivates me from like doing things, and I'm so sorry about that. And like to add even more bullshit, it was finally time for us to change our phones, and the original audio that I more had like prepared in 3 sections for this got deleted in the transfer of the data stuff, which is like it's fucking bullshit. My God. But anyway, I think that's good because this mic is different. I don't know if it sounds that different when it actually will go through the recording part. I don't have it back to back with something else, so I can check. But I assume it will. Due to that, there would probably be a bit of a problem in the mic quality setting in case like there's a very visible difference in the mic quality between the two. Maybe. Now, with all of that out of the way, and my apologies once more, girls, that you had to listen to this and everything. I want to go into some basic stuff here. Gosh, I'm still so sick. Anyway, I want to first go into what plans are going to be going forward. However, I do recognize that I am quite forgetful when I ramble, which is what this audio is going to be more. This 10 sub special, which, God, we're almost at 20. My fucking God. But anyway, out of that, like, you girls being enthusiastic, I guess. Oh my God. Anyway, outside of that, I do want to first go over on what I promised in the 10 sub special one. Pre 10 sub special. Apologies. Which was going over some of my art. Now, to be clear, I use AI art, but for one reason. I still like people looking at a blank screen at my work, and I do want people to watch my stuff. So, selfishly, I have AI art out there, so that way, if there is an issue of people like not being interested in it, it's more eye-catching, and it is fine enough since I personally more utilize company assets through the AI thing. I do know that the AI algorithms are trained on other art, but I'm trying to do it in the less risk-averse way I possibly can. And secondly, this always gets brought up by some weirdos who like AI art. I don't consider AI art to be real art. There's only been one instance of real art that I've ever utilized, which will be this one. I should still have the picture. If not, then I'll post some that more says like, hey, I'm sorry, I'm dumb. If this is still here though, and if not, I'm looking like such a fool, this is real art. And then this one more annoyed me because I couldn't actually credit the person because I couldn't find anything other than it being a fate art and apparently being official fate art, but I couldn't find any artist or anything else. It was just a free wallpaper is the most I could track it down to. Real artists earn my respect quite a bit because I've tried my hand at art. It gets me super stressed out, and I just get so hypercritical that I can't work it myself. So anyone who is able to actually make like really decent art, like my partner, I hold a high level of respect towards. Now, due to this, I personally think anyone who says that AI art, which works on an algorithm, is real art, is dumb and stupid. The only reason I utilize AI art is ease of access and due to the fact that I don't have the money for it, honestly, to like commission people. If I did ever gain enough money from this account to pay real artists, I would do that in a heartbeat. Because artists deserve to get paid, and hey, we could make some custom art for some of the fucking girls, which would be really nice, actually. That'd be really fucking nice. So, with that out of the way, because people get so dumb about this shit, especially on the fucking Twitter, which, speaking of, I have a Twitter. It's here, it should be linked here, yada yada. In case you want to just, like, see me exist between videos and talking about some bullshit and, like, BDSM generally, or, like, me talking about other stuff. I'll be there. It may be important to more see that I exist still, in the near future. But before we get into that, and changes that may occur to this channel going forward, I want to talk about the actual art. Because unlike a lot of people which use AI art, I personally don't just leave it to the AI art. I actually fix up the art a little bit. I try and do something, at least to feel a little bit more ethical about this, and also to get a better result, honestly. So, to give the example, this one art is the start of the actual AI. Like, this is what the AI spat out. And to give more of a reference where it is, I'm not going to give the actual picture of it, just to be a little bit more safe. It is a picture of the interrogation that's more in Path of Nowhere for a character called Cabernet. A cute little redhead character, which is literally evil. I really like Path to Nowhere, so if you like not turn-based, god, tower defense games like Arknight, but better, play that game. Now, with that out of the way, on the source of where this more comes from, you can tell from this one that the screenshot that more is used by the AI was out of place. I, more taking the screenshot and breaking down the screenshot to it, I didn't do it perfectly, so it's off-center. That is something that needs to be fixed. Also, if you do remember the actual part from the other video, this one looks really different, and we'll be going into that soon. Also, you will notice on this one, because the AI are dumb, there's actually, like, scratch marks into the face in pixels, which, you know, I had to kind of fix those up manually. You can tell them a little bit more on the face, in case you can't see them perfectly yourself. Now, with that out of the way, I had to go over and fix this. So I fixed up the art normally, and then I started working what I normally do with these type of arts, which are the shaders, and everything else with the brightness and everything. This more resulted in this picture. Now this one, you can tell that I more turned down a lot of other settings to make it look a lot different, and this one is a lot closer to being just equal on things. I haven't quite fixed it yet. I would be fixing in the next edit that I do after this one, if I recall correctly. But this one has a lot more weird things in the background, because I've messed with the settings enough, but the original things are still there. And there's still a lot of problems with this one. So I started editing out all the background stuff by more just having the drawing part and having the, what's the name of it? The paint icon that more makes it so that way it gets beside the art piece, and you can more just choose what color to have. And I went beside the piece, like in this dark blackness, and I just manually drew over everything. That more resulted in this one. And if you actually pay attention, you'll notice that there's one other part that I actually did. There was a little spike of hair at the top of the character. I fixed that up too because I thought it looked a little bit off on the character. It was a little bit mildly distracting for my possibly autistic self. I don't have that confirmed, so I'm not going to claim that title, but my weird hyperfixation more made me take that off of this as well. And as you can tell in this one, I actually centered it properly. Yay! I wonder how many other people that fucking annoyed. And that led me to the final more edit, where this was the edit that I'm more finished on with my gallery. Because I just used the gallery. Yes, you can edit photos this much in just the gallery settings. It is possible. I just had to save the other versions and then go on to the next version afterwards. Inside the actual video editor that I use, I very much saw that the skin pigmentation wasn't where I wanted it to be. It was way too bright. So I added a filter on it in post. And one of the things I was able to add in post was this purple filter. And with the purple filter done to the right levels, I got this. And this is what you guys got on your video. It wasn't just a simple one-by-one process. It did take me like over half an hour to like do the first edit, and then afterwards, probably like an hour and a half to get everything else right. Because shaders are sometimes a bitch, quite a bit, to get everything working. I just wanted to more prove that I put in effort for these things, and that I'm not being like some stupid hack. I probably shouldn't have to justify myself, but I personally feel like I do because like I actually respect artists that do art. This is the closest I can more do to art. It's more fixing up art. Anyway, with that out of the way, because I was very worried that I would forget this promise, I'm going to start going into what the future of the channel is going to be. And I'm probably in post going to add a time skip to this location at this time. So, hey, if you're from the time skip of me going over the art and being kind of dumb about it, hello. I hope you're doing well. Anyway, me being a geek aside, there are some big changes that are going to be having to come to this channel, and changes that I didn't originally plan for when I was making the 10 sub special in the first place. Which is why I'm a little bit more thankful that I can actually forward into a video. I, myself, for those who don't know or didn't see in the little Twitter part that I more had my age, I am of college age, and due to that, I haven't entered college up till now, due to a wide variety of factors I won't be getting into. But I am planning on actually getting into college this time, and unless something happens, I will be in college this year. As one may imagine, that's going to really cut into my free time quite a bit. And that is going to change what type of content I probably have the opportunities to make. And that's already with me having very limited opportunities to record in the first place. And that leaves me with a few difficult decisions for this channel. Now, to be clear, I am still going to be making content, but I can't make content that takes me a super long time to set up. And included in that is my first series, my baby, Virtues and Villainy. Now, I've described this process of me making audios on here before, but since I have to go over on the script, I don't fully script them out, but I do have like a basic understanding of what the story structure and everything needs to end. Foreshadowing, how everything fits into everything, yada yada. It takes me a lot more time, and I put a lot more effort into those audios. Again, they probably sound pretty similar, but for me, on the back end, I have to put a lot more effort into the Virtue and Villainies ones to make it work, and I may not have the time to do that. As I've said before, it sometimes takes me like 3 hours to make that one video. Meanwhile, the holiday ones probably take me less than an hour or 50 minutes to make an audio like that. And 20 minutes of those, in both of those cases, I think, were making the audio in the first place. So it only takes me around half an hour of prep time, on average, to get those ones set up, if that. Which requires that I'm probably going to make more improv things in the future. Or things that I have a basic idea where I don't need to make a set script for it, or I don't need to have an overarching plot. I will say, the reason I'm messing up so many words is because I am still sick and my throat's kind of fucked up. So apologies if this is going to be on the record forever. But this is where things get a lot more tricky. I love my series, Virtues and Villainy. As I said, it's my baby. It's my first actual series. I don't want to abandon it. So I've had to make a compromise for myself. One, I will be going back to the Virtues and Villainy series. I do have laid out what the plot actually is for both the main characters and a third character, and a fourth one, if I do decide to add them in. The fourth one's probably going to be scratched because some of the stuff with that character would have been a lot darker. It's a character locked up in one of the hospitals that you're going to be in for the crazy patient one. And I was planning on having that go into a really dark direction, but I don't really want to make dark content, which is why I'm probably going to back away from that script. Other one with the fake Southern girl, which like a really stereotyped voice. After all, doll, I'm pretty sure that most people would cringe a little while about a voice like this. Wouldn't you be right, baby face? Or maybe that's good, I don't fucking know. Maybe I'm being too self-critical. But I may make one with that just because I said I would. Which, like, um, but that's gonna be a lot further in the future. The series won't be forgotten for any of you girls which are interested in that plot. And who knows, maybe timey-wimey shit's gonna make it so I actually have a chance to make some of those audios earlier than I expect them to be. If it does take a long time, though, you're probably gonna get a little bit of a whiplash going through that series. Just due to gaps in quality and stuff like that. And I personally find that a little bit funny. But I really like the feeling of creating a series and making something more meaningful for me on a personal level. So I made a compromise which actually came out of something pretty unexpected. Now, there's this channel which I watch now and then, which is run by a twin brother and a twin sister. I obviously only watch the twin sister stuff because, I'm very gay. I'm only gay, I'm not pan, I'm not bi, I'm a fucking lesbian. No shade to you girls which are of that spectrum. I am personally dating a fucking pan girl, and she's fucking amazing. But I don't swing that way, which means I don't watch his content, so I can't say anything about what the dude makes. However, the girl makes a lot more darker audios, and to my understanding, the brother does too by the titles. And a lot of the stories there are bad end stories. So in case any of you wants to watch stories which are a lot darker, a lot more, bad ending stuff, and you get a thrill out of that, I highly suggest this channel. Now for me, I watch some of the stuff for the concepts, and I find their voice very interesting and their voice work. I'm very fascinated by it. I do not like the endings of the stories generally. I like the middle and the start parts generally. That is my general experience with these audio. But a recent one that I more watched was one where the yandere got taken over by a demon. Though I don't quite remember in case they put down daemon or demon. In post, you'll be able to see this because I'll grab the screenshot itself of the video, and that, along with the script written by this person in the description of that video, I don't know off the top of my head, and since this is improv, I'm just going to probably have a line or a circle around that person in the description of that video. I personally started finding an idea due to a central part of that script. Now, for those who want to watch this interesting idea, pause the video here and go watch that shit, eh? I don't want to spoil anything that isn't already in the title. Now, any of you dark girlies have gone over and seen that, one of the main things that I got from that one was the main character doesn't realize that she's ace, and she feels really, 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 really awful about the fact that she can't be there sexually for the partner. She feels like she's broken, and that she can make a deal with the devil, or a demon in this case, to fix herself. And I heard use that terminology on myself quite a bit, myself, and I've heard it from a lot of people too. And as somebody who has both experienced it and seen it quite a bit, I felt really sad. Like, oh baby girl, like nobody told you about what aceness is it? And new info, new lore or something. I myself am lightly on the ace spectrum. I'm not very heavy into it. I can still do play, I can still engage with a partner, and I'm not completely off from sensual activities, but there are certain things in a physical capacity I'm just not comfortable doing, and I probably never will be. And until the point where I learned that aceness was on a spectrum, I always felt off. I would explain in basic ways by saying to people like, hey, I'm a little bit ace. And I always felt shit to explain it like that because I felt like I was degrading the struggles that people which are fully ace, which in my mind were people which completely can't engage in sexual activities or role play in a BDSM context. I felt like I was degrading them by putting me in that same general group, even if I was only very much the outside of it. But learning myself that aceness is on a spectrum in the same way that autism is, um, that helped me a lot on a personal capacity. And since that is relatively recent of a development for me to understand, I understand that quite well. Um, since I know that even I, somebody who was interested in a lot of BDSM stuff and sexuality things, didn't know that being ace was on a spectrum of sorts, I don't expect a lot of people to know that stuff. And my personal desire that I wish I was with that girl in the audio. Not the audio, because, like, you know, the person speaking there is probably fine, but, you know, the character, that I could be there to, like, help that character, made me start going into a new series, which I'm going to be picking up. Now, this series is going to be a lot easier for me to do because I'm not going to be acting as a character at all. I've described a little bit before about how I make my ASMRs, and for those who haven't seen, like, the comment sections in some random video, I'll explain it here. When I'm making videos outside of the Virtues and Villainy series, I'm not fully acting as a character. I am acting as if I was put in a situation that I put the character in. And there's a difference there. Every one of the reactions that more happen are how I would react in that situation. If I was in this history, if I knew a person was, you know, very violent, would want to do a lot of things, and I'd put up with that for a long period of time, I know how I would react because I also know somebody who's like that. And that's how I know, like, hey, I would react in this type of way if this person was my bestie in my mind, which is why all the genuine reactions in that improv are the way they are. Now, of course, when I'm setting up improv audios, because there is going to be a difference between this and the series. When I'm making an improv audio, like the Halloween one, I plan out what the background is going to be. The Halloween one is actually a bit special because I couldn't record it immediately, which made me double down on, like, hey, I need to make this even more special then, because, like, frick, I can't record it when I was originally planning on recording it. God damn it. Which is why we got the whole twist that the listener likes the speaker. As I've stated before on some stuff, that wasn't originally planned, but I added that in, well, afterwards. And with that change in setting, I just had the additional idea of, like, hey, I need to probably foreshadow the person's into them and add in little bits to, like, make that make sense. And with that knowledge of, like, hey, what do I need the story to be and what the character is why a lot more of the smaller vocal choices were more done. Such as the, oh, nice, when learning about it being a girl, because that's more of an indication to the audience in a very subtle way that, oh, this character didn't know that they would be going for a girl. Which adds extra ideas like, hey, why didn't the adult understand the fucking yandere likes them? I provide lots of reasons in the audio, but another one is just something subtle like that, which is why I'm so proud of my Halloween audio, because I did so many fucking subtle bullshit if you listen to that audio carefully, and I'm so happy about it. But those audios I always set up, and I have the foreshadowing more just done up in advance. And I'm like, okay, I need to foreshadow with this and this and this, and even though it's still an improv one, I have an idea like, okay, this is going to be a plot point, this is going to be a plot point, this is going to be a plot point. Like the reaction of the person knowing that the person likes them, again, to more use my Halloween audio, more being oh, I probably have to have a wait moment because a speaker wouldn't immediately go like, oh yeah, I like you. There was like, oh, I need to process that. Okay, that's a shocker. So I need to build up towards that and like the, oh, you're blushing. Oh, okay. And like, you know, putting extra thought into like, hey, the character's not dumb, they're just dense a little bit. With those out of the way, on like making a character act, the new series is going to be very different, where I'm just going to be talking as myself. I'm going to be talking as oneofmany, not whoever else I'm currently acting as an unnamed character that just acts in the way that I would in that scenario. This has been very rambly, so apologies. Partly due to me being sick, but I'll talk about my own experiences in that one. I'll be more doing a comfort audio, certainly, because I'm going to be talking about, hey, my own experiences and how I've reached the point where I am, because apparently that can be quite comforting for people, I've more learned. Due to one trans girl. Apparently the way I explain my own experiences helps other people out with my own fucking weird sense of humor, I guess. I don't fucking get it. But apparently it works, and I've helped out a lot of people before. And I guess, doing it in an audio way will hopefully also help. So, I'm going to be more making these audios, but they aren't going to be as much ASMR. And for those girls who don't personally relate to a story, well, I'm going to be putting my own personal anecdotes and my own personal experiences in that story. So, any girl who's interested to learn about a perspective on that, you still can. Currently, I have an idea for what this series is going to be more called. Because apparently I'm really good at coming up with ideas for how a series should be called. I'm apparently really good at this. And I'm going to be calling that series, You Don't Need to Be Fixed. Now, of course, since I'm going to be talking about my own personal experiences and more of a ramble fashion, I don't need to worry about setting up a convoluted plot or anything, so these are going to be relatively easy for me to make in a normal sense. Probably a little bit harder to me to make on an emotional sense, but I'm totally fine with that. If I can help out some other girls out there, and hey, working through my own work, it's probably going to be a little therapeutic for me. Who knows? The first two that I have an idea of making on currently, on reflection of my own personal issues, will be, well, obviously the ace one, because, like, that's what sparked this. And secondly, also feeling responsible for a toxic partner. And without going into too many details on, to not spoil that audio, I had a really, really shitty partner before my current one. And when everything went to shit in a way that, that wasn't my fault. 100%. There's no way this could be my fault. I still blame myself completely, and I laid no blame on her head. And that was very unhealthy of me. And luckily I had a friend who knocked some sense into me by being there with me when I was having my breakdown, but I know a lot of people hold that same type of mindset that I did. So, hopefully, my story, which has no excuse for the person who more did it, again, to be clear, the person was not the worst type of people, but they were really bad. I hope more having my story, which is, it's a high bar, but hearing that I experienced the same thing, even in that high bar, that it was so illogical, that it was something so stupid, that didn't make any sense. I hope that helps some people recognize their own feelings towards toxic relationships. Now, obviously, not every relationship is toxic. You should do some self-reflection, but hey, girls, not everything's your fault. And you don't need to fix yourself in certain type of ways because your partner was shit. Now, self-improvement and everything else, that's totally fine, but that's something you want to do for yourself, not because that you don't want to hurt others in a fuck-up capacity. It's more because that way you don't, I'm not the best at saying this in a way, but you want to do it for you, along with other people. If you're only doing something because you think you're going to hurt other people, or it would be better for others if you acted this way, without any genuine desire for you to act that way, barring extreme cases, that's really unhealthy for you. And hopefully I'm able to explore that a little bit with that audio series. Now, I've rambled on for a while on this. It's probably going to be a pain in the edit to do all this, and I'm going to have to hear me ramble and misspeak so much because I'm still sick. But I hope this video helps a little. Also, I almost forgot one thing. I was originally going to be answering questions, but none of you girls ever asked any. So, to just give a basic rundown on stuff you probably would be able to more tell, I'm Canadian, and I have a lovely, sweet, partner. I've talked about them a little bit in just this alone. You can kind of tell I fucking love that dork. So just a little note to add here, because I did want to add this note before I started making the ASM. Well, this isn't ASM. The little channel thing. Don't make it fucking weird, okay? It's my personal request. Like, right now, we're at a low level where I don't think we have any weirdos, but I still want to throw that out there. I am taken by my lovely Starlight. And I am extremely monogamous. I am not poly whatsoever. I'm the opposite end of poly as far as you can go on a personal level. Like, my brain is literally fucked up in such a way where as soon as I love one person, I am physically incapable of having any residential feelings for like a past crush, even if it's only been like a week. Like, to be clear, no knock against any like poly people or any other people which are monogamous, which have residential feelings. That's just how my brain works. It doesn't make it better or anything weird. It's just how it works. So I am physically incapable of loving any person that's inside the audience in the way that any of you would want. Again, so far, the two people which commented, really sweet. I don't think they're going to be any fucking weirdos, but I do need to lay down that ground rule in advance just for this community going forward. Now, with that out of the way, which I almost forgot, is there any other questions? Well, I guess, like, one thing to add on here, since apparently somebody liked the recipe thing of me having, my grilled cheese in the bag, which nobody, I think, has seen that video except for one person. And yes, it's really good to have grilled cheese in a bag after you got it done. It's really nice. The texture is so sweet. I will add in, as a final thing, a drink. And you can post it in the comment section to see that you actually watched this fucking stupid ramble this far. Go to McDonald's and get the free drink. Go half-half on iced tea and Sprite. It actually tastes really freaking good. I heavily recommend it to people. Anyway, it's like the one thing I was able to convince my IRL family to actually have because it's that good. So, with that vote of confidence, I'm going to be going here. Apologies, I would ramble longer, but I am starting to get really sick, and I don't want to get a coughing fit on the audio. So, you girls, I hope you enjoy this, and I wish you a well day or afternoon, depending on when you're watching this. And in case you're watching this near midnight, go the fuck to sleep. You need sleep. Now, anyway, I'm gonna stop rambling and I'm just gonna go. Bye bye, dolls. I hope you have a lovely time whenever you are.